It's all about cycling. Cochin Bikers Club presents you very interesting stories on cycling, very interesting personalities on cycling. Today I'm going to give you a very interesting introduction. Good morning, Mumbai! My very favorite movie, Lage Raho Munna Bhai, where Vidya Balan used to give this beautiful voice. And the movie starts with this. So why do we speak about Mumbai today? We have a very interesting personality from Mumbai who is in Cochin with us. For the last week she was here. The bicycle mayor of Mumbai, Firoza. You won't find that name easily in Facebook, but you should find the word Cycle Firoza, very common all around Instagram and the cycling community. So let us all welcome Firoza to Cochin and we'll have an interesting talk with her. Welcome, Firoza.
Good morning and lage raho Sakzil.
Lage raho Firoza. Okay, fantastic. So we'll talk in Malayalam, right?
Yeah, Kochi Malayalam pariyum. That's all I know. We stick to English.
So we will stick to English today. Firoza, why are you in Cochin?
Okay, the reason why I'm in Cochin, because first of all I'm ingrained into cycling since almost 2009 onwards. Before I tell why I'm in Cochin, I think it's important for me to give you my little background into the cycling world. Like all of us, Sakshil, we've always cycled the length and breadth. You cycle in Kochi, I cycle in Mumbai. When we were young, But during our time, I guess it was really tough. For us to get a bicycle was always rental bicycles, right?
Yeah.
So, our mother used to give us, 50 paise.
50 paise, half a rupee, yes.
Yeah, we used to keep it in the hand and run to the rental shop.
Correct.
Like this. We didn't have pouch and bag,
nothing.
And we used to go and pick up the favorite bicycle quickly at 6 o'clock in the morning, otherwise it would go.
And there will be a very big clock in the bicycle store where you watch the time and it starts.
Yes, time, because they were very particular. But in any case, those were the fun days. You bring the cycle to the society and there are 5 children waiting for you for that rental cycle.
Yes.
But nowadays kids are very lucky, this digital world and parents having most disposable income. Every birthday they get a new bicycle.
Which is good also.
Which is a very, very good thing. But during our time, those were the struggles of the 70s and 80s, I guess.
Yeah.
But it was fun. We really enjoyed because I think most of the time we were only playing in the playground in the society.
Yes.
There
was no space inside the house for you to play. Because खेलने के लिए तुम बाहर चले जाओ. That was the kind of a thing, right?
Very interesting, when you were down, Shakzil, they were all your friends. 30, 40 of them you're playing together, whether it is 7 tiles or whether it is cycling or you're playing chore police and everything. And it was fun kind of. So yeah, my childhood was all about all of the fun.
So you were the one who ran to get a bicycle to rent.
I used to rent the bicycles when I was young. But I think I really didn't know that when I was growing up, the bicycle will be an integral part of me for commuting. So when I was a teenager and when I used to cycle to college, I think probably I was the only girl who used to,
Where, in Mumbai, where were you living?
I was staying in Mulund.
Mulund?
Yeah, in Mulund I was known as Mulund ki cycle wali.
Mulund ki cycle wali.
Because at that time, cyclist word was not... that cyclist word was not...
cyclist word is a modern English way of saying...
But at that time it was cycle wali.
Yeah, cycle wala or cycle wali. Correct.
So that's what was told, cycle wali.
Yes.
But it was fun. I enjoyed my college. But most important thing, because I wanted my own pocket money. I didn't want to depend on my parents. I started giving tuitions to children. So I had 3 batch of tuition kids where I used to travel, commute on a bicycle.
Tuition teacher coming on a bicycle. Yeah.
So at that point of time, you don't think about the environment.
Was it a ladybird kind of a bicycle?
It was a very simple roadster. It was a roadster with a Goda handle.
Goda handle, yes.
Yeah, it was not really fancy because this cycle was given by my dad's brother. I didn't even know what name it was. It was blue color. That's all I saw.
That's what you remember.
And that was something very good because at that point of time, you don't see all these fancy bicycles. You just want to save money and do your commuting. And that's
so you started to be an entrepreneur by the time you were just after school and started giving tuitions, and the way of commuting was on a bicycle. It's common, yes.
Oh, that's good. I didn't know I was an entrepreneur. I just thought I was saving money for my family.
You were earning money. You were making a business. You are like, it's not a business. You go into school houses to give private tutoring.
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
So that was the fun thing. But yeah, there were challenges also because I'm born and brought up in a Muslim environment.
In Mulund.
in Mulund.
By the way, I mean, I have read about you. Like, it's a news article which came. The word which you said, Mulund ki cycle wali,
Huh.
and then they were mentioning about you going to the probably your life's first event. And then, can you tell me that you were about to say that?
Yeah. Okay, that was 1992.
Okay.
Okay, when December.
Nobody will forget that day, right?
Yes.
Because it had a very bad impact on his
Significant historic day, because that's the time the Babri Masjid was coming down, and that exactly on the same day, there was a big cyclotron first duathlon, you can say, in Mulund, where I
Mulund,
used to
okay,
stay.
yeah.
It was 7.5 kilometers run, then 30 kilometers cycling, and again 7.5 kilometers run.
It was like a decent distance,
Yeah,
right?
but then you need to understand where I came from.
Oh,
I
okay.
didn't have a bicycle. I didn't have proper clothing.
Yeah.
The clothes which you need to wear for
Yeah,
a cycling
yeah,
event.
nothing.
All borrowed. So I borrowed one huge track pant where I had to fold 8 times. A loose t-shirt, all of that. And a cycle which I borrowed from my newspaper vendor. So I said, okay, fine. Now I have all of this, and let me go on a bicycle. And it was fun. I came fourth over there. But that was a memorable event for me. And
Which you had run also, then 30-kilometer bicycling.
And then again 7.5 kilometers run.
But at least that there were minimum 4 girls there. I mean, you were the fourth. There was participation good.
Yeah. There was a good participation of women. Few men, they were new. Always in a cycling event, you know how it is. There are less participation.
So how were you accepted in the family after this event?
So, no, my mother was surprised because she didn't think that I'll be able to do something. But she was very happy that I completed the race. So, of course,
Was she a support always?
my mom has always been a supporting pillar for me.
Okay.
Of course, even my dad.
Okay.
They've born and brought up me like a tomboy. Or you can call in the word Pathan.
Acha.
So my dad used to always call me a Pathan.
It's only not a horse, it's a bicycle this time, right? Being a Pathan, you should be on a horse otherwise.
Yes. So that's how my upbringing has been very carefree. And seeing my mother very helpful. So I guess that's something which was ingrained into me, to see that we need to also, it's not only about us, it's also about others. That we need to also give back to the society.
Now that is what about a child's cycling history when they were kids. They have lots of, all the girls have opportunities to bicycle. But then as we see in our society, what happens is that there is a time when a girl child stops bicycling for various reasons. Now your biggest challenge would be that, and your biggest dream is also to overcome that and to bring women into cycling, which I have learned about you. So that transition from being a teen to getting into a professional job, and how did you keep on with cycling? You could change it, but you didn't. So what was that transition, and what were the challenges at that time in the city of Mumbai?
So, especially with me, because I'm born and brought up in a Muslim environment, there were people who used to come to my house and tell my mother, don't let her cycle so much because she might not bear a child. That was also the biggest challenge which my mother used to feel. And also having an elder sister. And I had an elder sister, she was marriageable age.
Okay.
So now the concern is if she's going to be in her jeans and pant and all of that, and then she's going to cycle, how will my sister get a good alliance?
Correct.
Overnight, one day, from jeans and t-shirts, from being a tomboy, the next day I was supposed to switch into Salwar kameez, my traditional dress. And that was something I said, okay, fine, even if this is going to be the scene, I'm not going to leave cycling. And that was a condition which I told my mother, that I will not leave cycling. Though I'll switch my clothing into my traditional attire and everything. But of course, all of this challenge, the monthly problems and everything, every woman has to go through it. But it was something which, I always felt that this is what keeps me going and keeps me happy. And we just went on cycling throughout my teenager. I think it was inspiration to a lot of women back then also. And in college, a lot of women started getting their bicycles. And
is it because of you?
I guess not even women, even men started, even boys started getting cycling, because then college gave us a cycle stand.
Which is
One person getting cycle, then we got a cycle stand because everybody started cycling. And
so that is where your influence to the civic authority started unknowingly, probably, right?
absolutely
Yes.
organically.
Organically, without even
Absolutely.
thinking about it behind your mind, right?
Actually, you rightly said it was all organic growth. You know, you never know
You
what's
were not even
triggering.
planning for that, but it happened.
It just happened. I think that's what the
Nee,
journey.
but you were just saying I'm switching to Salwar, kameez and bicycle. But you see, Firoza, when you go to UP and for other matter for that, if you travel in the villages of Uttar Pradesh nowadays, we can see in the mornings hundreds of kids going to school on a bicycle with their traditional attire. Salwar kameez is actually like a Indian way of a cycling dress, I would say, for a girl, because it has enough, like what you say, margin for like relaxed clothing when you
Absolutely.
travel, right?
Absolutely.
So you do not need to be on a jeans and t-shirt.
No,
always.
not
You
at
do not
all.
need to be.
Not at all.
But then that's also a comfort way. So even with a salwar kameez, you could be able to do that, right?
Absolutely. I mean, people in my area, in my city, because when you're young, you're like a frog. You have a well, and that's your area, and that's where you were actually cycling. So across in Mulund, everybody knew that, and I used to be on a salwar kameez and everything. It was accepted. It was fun. I mean, you don't have to think much because all you're doing, you're enjoying on a bicycle.
Were you a leader of a cycling group or something with even without knowing? So probably, yeah, Firoza is going to school. Firoza जा रही है उसके साथ चले जाओ. ऐसा कुछ? Anything
Actually,
like that?
At that point of time, there was nothing like a cycling club or nothing like that. I think everybody was enjoying cycling out there.
Yeah.
Back in it's all about your studies, school, your college, and you want to just go down and play. I think life was very simple. Right now, it is tough because I see a lot of young generation hooked on to mobile. Which I feel somewhere they are missing out on the innocence of growing up.
Now, see that, for instance, if it was like to 2019, we could complain that you are on a mobile. But now, some way it has happened that it has been annoyingly official for the kids to have a mobile, and we cannot even complain because that is the only way they can get their school education. So it is like giving them a thing which we do not want to give them in an age when they do not know how to make use of it in a right way. But then we have to hope that this new digital encroachment which comes into their hands like a mobile phone should do good only.
So I also like to mention, because earlier when in schools also they used to encourage students to come on a bicycle. I mean, we all know, in whether it is in Kochi or Mumbai and parts of Pune or all the kids, Kolhapur, Maharashtra specifically, even now, the kids actually go to school on a bicycle. Suddenly, I don't know where all of this changed.
That is where my question is next. See, we can see in Kerala, we have seen girls' colleges and schools where there are lots of girls and the boys might not come. I can see girls going on a bicycle, probably because it is also one of the freedom they have of going off them on a bicycle alone, but with a group of girls. So that gives them a sense of security also. But where does it stop? Because after school, we don't see them continuing it. I mean, you know it personally. We know that there is lots of physical changes which happens and how society see them. As you said, that one thing, people are even concerned about their childbearing capacity. Yes. So how does that, what is reality?
So the reality is this, yes, after you finish your college and everything and you get a job, you are into that 9 to 5. Somewhere for me also, cycling gave a little backseat because then you have to make your living. So that's something which for me also it happened. I did not give up on cycling, but somewhere into the daily routine when I got a job, cycling took a backseat. Then it's all about marriage,
Correct.
When you are a marriageable age and you have to get married and everything. So the same thing happened to me.
Your priorities or your family's priorities for you changes.
Exactly. So at the age of 25, I got married. And after a few years, I had a child. All of my cycling, whatever I only could do through my son. So I saw that my son was trained.
You were living through him then.
Through him. Everything. He did skating. I joined skating along with him. He was cycling. I was enjoying all of. So whatever I missed out in my, I wanted to learn tabla. So he was doing. So I also joined. So all of that, I guess I enjoyed that process of being a mother.
How old is he now?
He's 19 years.
19
Yes,
years.
19
So
years.
you're
of
talking
age.
about that age when he was a carryable boy. Now he's almost or even taller than you now,
Yeah,
right?
he's taller than me. He's doing his BTech right now.
Very good.
So he's quite, yeah.
So your professional career, Firoza?
So I've always been in sales and marketing
Mm-hmm.
throughout my career. I worked with Tatas and Godrej,
Mm-hmm.
Motorola, Business India, newspaper, Midday, and so I've always been in the
Mm-hmm.
media, and I guess a little bit of more telecom. So
Okay.
I guess that all of this helped me to observe and to when I had to start my own NGO. I think all of that, what I've worked in my background, it helped me a lot to put things into perspective.
So when was that? Like working for somebody else and being or your own entrepreneurship?
So I got a small opportunity to work in a cycle company in around 2009 2010, and I took up this opportunity to work because I said, you know what, now that I want to be into cycling, might as well take up a job into the cycling industry.
Yes.
So my first job was with Fuji Cycles.
They were entering India at that
They
time.
were
yeah.
entering India and they were not a known brand. So, but for me, they took me as a brand ambassador,
Okay.
and I started cycling their folding bicycle.
They're folding
Fuji-
bicycles.
Fuji
They had a
origami.
very beautiful. Yes.
I think that's where everybody kind of recognized me as a foldy rider.
Yeah, there was a new genre of cyclists
Yes.
coming, like a foldies
Yes,
groups.
yes. So Mumbai, no one used to cycle in foldy, but when I started cycling, I think everybody started invested. One cycle they had hybrid or MTB or road. Second cycle they started investing in a road bike.
Okay.
In a folding bicycle. The advantage of a folding bicycle was for commuting. Suppose if you have your office and there's no parking facility, you could fold the bicycle and keep it near
Where your office desk is.
Office
Yes,
desk is.
exactly. When the foldies came out, we were also looking at it. Never became a first bicycle because it was for a person who cannot live without cycling, but in an area where he cannot go with his big bicycle,
Absolutely.
he would have an extra, which is easily foldable, and we have even tried that it can sit in the front co-rider seat of a car.
Absolutely.
Very
And
easily.
also when you go out with your friends for chai, coffee and everything,
Yes.
again you are concerned that my road bike, I have to constantly keep an eye on this.
Looking outside.
Look it outside. So folding bicycle, you just fold
You
it
can-
and keep it wherever you are sitting near the,
You
in
can
the
bring
restaurant.
it.
And also one most important advantage is the metro. At least in Kochi metro, you all can take the cycle, which is a
Which is a
normal,
very
regular.
good thing which they have allowed us to
Exactly.
do it. Yes.
So regular bicycle you all can take, but in Mumbai we can only take the folding bicycle because the folding bicycle has to go through the
Oh,
scanner.
don't talk about Mumbai suburban system. There is not enough space for a person to keep his lunch box.
Absolutely.
That is why your lunchbox system is so effective that you cannot even carry that in the time when you go.
That's the reason. Sajil, when my office was 12 kilometers away from my home to my office, 12 and I had to travel by train. I said, you know what, this is not what I want to get cramped up into a situation like this. I said, I have a bicycle. Let me pick up my bicycle and do that one way 12 kilometers. And I guess that was liberating. And I said, now I'm not going to stop. And back and forth. At that point of time in 2010, it was never for I'm doing something good for the environment and climatic change and everything. Nothing. It was only for myself. But one good thing happened is the media. They started writing about people who cycle to work and all the cycling activities and everything. In that, they mentioned about Firoza and few more cyclists.
That is when Mulin ki cycle wali, Mumbai ki cycle wali bani. That is when you became the cyclist of Mumbai, right?
Yes.
Probably the
I
media
guess.
took it up.
I guess again when we spoke about organic,
Yeah,
I guess this is a
this is
part
the
of
part.
the organic growth.
Yes.
Never knowing that you are trying to bring about some change. I mean that was never
It
in
has
the,
happened behind you. Right?
Yeah, it has happened because and when in that article they used to write about places like Amsterdam, Copenhagen, Denmark, and these people are cycling city. And when you read something like that along with your name, I said, this city must have done something really good that they have evolved into the city has already
Over a period of time,
over a
the
period of
whole
time.
citizens there approved it as a
Absolutely.
lifestyle thing.
Absolutely.
But Mumbai is a very beautiful city. I love Mumbai, and Colaba area for that matter is a beautiful walkable area and also bicyclable area.
Absolutely.
And good quality roads. But then we always look at the population of Mumbai. See, Cochin, where we are here now. Mumbai would be like about what, 5 to 6 times
24 million.
million people,
Yes.
which is like the whole area of Mumbai. The city itself is
The only
full-
Mumbai I'm
Mum-
talking, I'm not even talking about satellite township.
So such a crowd, seriously populated city, and then traffic is posing a big issue there.
Yes.
So cycle would be a solution for things. My question is that, of course, in peak time, I think that cycle will be faster than a car, right?
Yes. That's a very good question, Sakzil, which you mentioned. Because I used to not pick up my cycles earlier. I used to go by train. So from my home, I have to take a rickshaw, then go to the nearest railway station, Ville Parla, which for me, then get down at Dadar, where my office was. From Dadar, I had to go to Portuguese Church. Again, I used to take a taxi or something. Now, the entire journey used to take me 1 hour, 15 minutes, or sometimes 1.5 hours, because to wait endlessly for rickshaws and taxis and the train
last
to come.
mile
The
connectivity
first and
was
last
not-
mile always a concern, and also if the train is not on time.
Okay.
It is always that thing. So entire 1.5 hours, and I said, okay, fine. If I take a bicycle, let me see how much. I used to reach within 35-40 minutes on a bicycle from my home to office. I said, this is it. I mean, I switched completely to my cycle only because of not I really hated the good massage which used to get in the train. An interesting part is you stand near the door, Sakzil, of the train.
Okay, no.
You don't have to do much. Everybody will push you and you're out of the train.
Various other things like not being able to keep your valuables because there are lots of people who will search your wallets.
That's one of the things.
Things,
But
right.
yeah, but you just have to take care of your belongings when you
Belongings
are
also.
in the train. Yeah.
So that is like a transition, quick. But I think that is where you considered cycling as your part of your life because it had a meaning now.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah. So commuting, I guess, commuting was the only language I knew, Shakzil. So if you see my journey, it was never a leisure kind of an activity when I took cycle. I took cycle seriously as a commute vehicle. So when your mind is in that phase, then how do you kind of? But I enjoyed cycling even in the space of leisure.
But now here, the point is that you are enjoying cycling because it is giving you a reward. It is also giving you a reason because like traveling to your work saves you time. You know that the most valuable time in our lives are the 1 and 2 minutes or 3 minutes in the morning when we are rushing to our office and when we are rushing to fulfill your commitments.
Absolutely.
So when you're saving like 20-25 minutes, it's like the whole savings you have for the whole day, right?
Absolutely. So I guess someone had to be the flag bearer for this madness. Because it's a madness which when you see it.
So the whole Mumbai city got a flag bearer in you, Firoza, probably.
I wouldn't say that. I guess someone had to showcase. As I said, we didn't know the language. We didn't know what language we need to communicate to people, because at that point of time, social media also was just about getting into our lives.
You're right. Yes.
So we had Orkut, we had cyclist.in at that point of time. We all used to communicate through those. When you want to put up a ride, maybe for us it is Worli, NCPA or RA and everything. So we put up the rides and all the cyclists used to come. So that was our world of cycling, which is happening.
Yes.
Then came Facebook and Instagram and everything, and then things changed because everybody started owning their own groups. We have our Kochi Bikers Club, and then you have another cycling club, and everybody has their own cycling club.
It is probably because of the introduction of WhatsApp, because it's so easy for us to create a group and communicate and exchange things. So digital technological advancement has definitely helped everything in the whole world, and cycling also.
For cycling also it has. I think what happened was that someone had to put a conversation of cycle to work. 2012 onwards, we are on it. 2012, we said, how do we make it into a fun engagement? We did a bicycle flash mob.
Bicycle flash mob
in 2012. It was
in Mumbai,
and it was much earlier, ahead of time plan. But we did it. I said, okay, fine, let's enjoy. Put up placards opposite the railway station to tell people the cycle to work is there, and you all can start commuting instead of going in this crowded train.
Yes. I have seen lots of interesting programs happening in Mumbai about see Mumbai in nightlife. night lights.
Yes.
And then everyone gathers in Colaba area and you take them through this beautiful streets, historical towns.
Absolutely.
Everyone who is watching or listening to this program should try every city wherever you live to see the beauty of city in the evening lights or night lights in bicycles. And programs in Mumbai, programs in Cochin. When you are in Mumbai, you would definitely contact Firoza to get more information about these interesting bicycle rides. So I have seen these programs and I definitely wanted to do it, and I have done that in daytime
Absolutely.
there. Well, so that is about Mumbai. Now my serious question is that if we were just interviewing you as a Mumbai person, I might have to come to Mumbai to interview. But luckily you are in Cochin today. What brought you to Cochin, Firoza?
So there is a little background story to why I am in Kochi and why I am doing the grassroots level work for Kochi city in the space of cycling. Back in Mumbai, I said, Cycle2Work is where we started off, and I'm pretty well known in the space of Cycle2Work. The other program was MeCycleRider, where we donate old and new bicycles.
You donate old and new bicycles to whom?
To the urban poor, people who are of low income. In my city.
Okay.
Whether now I have to donate it to the kids
Okay.
or I have to donate it to women. So I
Okay.
specifically target women,
Okay.
and we have a target of 1,200 women where we have to train them
Okay.
to cycling. These are the people who do housework.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's something which we have pledged to do. And third program came during the pandemic.
Okay.
Pandemic changed, it was a game changer for for cycling per se, because there was about 40-45% increase of cycling which happened. Now, if there is a momentum which has happened, it is all scattered momentum. When you talk about Kochi has lot of cycling, it's got scattered. In Mumbai also the same thing happened, it got scattered. Now if you had scattered, you have to bring all of that cycling back together into some kind of an initiative. So we started Chala City Bacha initiative in Mumbai.
So that means after the corona breakout,
Yes.
we were all locked down in
Yes.
houses. So
Yes.
we were all like frustrated.
Absolutely.
And then we have seen everywhere that the only way to go out without getting stopped by a police was
The
the
bicycle.
humble bicycle.
Absolutely.
They thought that cycle chala ke kitna dur tak jayega.
Absolutely.
That was the thing.
Absolutely.
But you know that there were people riding 60 to 70 kilometers in a bicycle to get.
Absolutely.
And
social distancing also played a big role.
Big role in
because
cycle,
you are
yes.
not close to one another.
And it spread all over the suburbs of the city without even telling them that it was the way to do it. So it was kind of a interest of the citizens to come into cycling. Now that is where you said you had to bring them back for a social cause.
It is a momentum which when the momentum is created, and we have never seen. I mean, you are in the space of cycling since so many years. I have never seen such a huge high growth, and specifically among youth. I have never seen so many youth on bicycles in my city. I said, if this is what's going to be, we quickly put up this initiative, Cycle Chala City Bacha.
Cycle Chala City
City
Bacha.
Bacha.
Save the city by cycling.
Yes.
That is the...
Absolutely. So in that space, we said, let's have citizen participation and let's have leaders within that space. So we announced a bicycle counselor program for hyper local engagements. When you talk about hyper local, you need to understand your city very well.
Okay.
So we have 24 wards.
In your place.
In Mumbai city.
In Mumbai, okay.
So 24 wards, we appointed 24 bicycle counselors over there.
So it is more like running your own parallel parliament for the cycling, right? Appointing
Okay,
councillors.
that I realized it later on, that we started something and got recognized by the authorities for doing such a commendable job. This job, which were actually should be done by the local authorities, was done by us, bunch of cyclists.
Entirely voluntary.
Entirely pro bono, entirely voluntary, not a single rupee. My core team, all the cyclists, hats off to them for believing, because we had to keep a very realistic or very a vision.
So you brought a big change in this maximum city, as we call Mumbai,
Yes.
is right?
So the vision was to make Mumbai the cycling capital of India by 2030. Now the timeline is 2030, and I said, like, okay, we have put up this entire vision. How are we going to achieve it? See, Shakzil, every city now, you can't compare it with Amsterdam. We can do cut paste of Amsterdam in Kochi.
Everyone
in
is
Mumbai.
looking towards Amsterdam for being a cycle model
But it will
city,
never
right?
happen.
It will not.
It will never happen because every city is different. My city is different. I have 24 million people. You have, X million people. Understand the dynamics of my city. My city, half of the population stay in slums. That means almost 12 million people stay in slum. And cycling is all about behavior change. When you tell people to cycle in the leisure space, everybody is ready to do a 50-100 kilometers. The same lane, if you tell them to commute to
work, and
they will have 1,000 reasons to tell. Same thing happened. Every city has their 1,000 reasons.
When you put it into a commuting thing,
Exactly.
and then you do not have a showing off platform, it doesn't help, right?
They have reasons. I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Infrastructure problem. We don't have cycle track. Okay. Same road they will go in the morning, but when it comes to commuting, then again, but it's okay. I accept all of that because it's an ecosystem, Sakshi.
Okay.
The difficulty in cycling is the cycle itself because you have to invest in a cycling. Unlike running. Running is easy. You can run barefoot or you have your shoe and you start running. But for being a cyclist, you have to first buy that bicycle, whether it is for 8,000 rupees or a 1 lakh rupee cycle or a carbon bicycle. You have to invest in the bicycle. That's very, very important.
Yes.
So as a mayor, I realized that this is my ecosystem.
You said you're a mayor. I will come to that point.
Yes. It's an ecosystem which you need to nurture. Now,
Okay.
whether it is an ecosystem of leisure cyclists or fitness cyclists,
Okay.
or it is an endurance space,
Okay.
or it is a competition space, or it is a people, urban cyclists with helmets who are going cycle to work,
Okay.
or my livelihood bicycles. Livelihood bicycle is your
Doodwala,
the doodwala
newspaper
and your
wala.
egg vendor, newspaper vendor, and all other. Even the delivery app guys, the Swiggy, Zomato.
Now there's Zomato, Swiggy's,
Yes.
everybody coming on a bicycle
So
also.
we
Yes.
need to nurture this ecosystem of all the cyclists within the city. For me, I quickly realized behavior change is a big problem for every city. The quickest way to increase ridership is to reach out to the urban poor, which I have 12 million in my city. Even if out of 12 million, I'm able to have 1 lakh cyclists out on the road, it is enough pressure for the infrastructure to evolve and get more cycle track or my cycle stands for my city. So my focus has been always, yes, we need an infrastructure, but we need to focus on the ridership also. Because if you do not have ridership and the government tomorrow gives you a cycle track and the cycle track is underutilized, you know what people say? It is a failed project.
It's a failed project, and give these bicycle tracks. You will have your momo stalls or any other sides, street
Encroachment. It is
vendors, and
encroached.
encroached.
Exactly. So
You're right.
it is encroached because our cyclists are underutilizing that space. If you have a cycle track in Marine Drive, utilize the cycle track and make it busy. Don't give a chance for any encroachment to
Or
come.
even they don't give enough space for a car to think to park it or
Exactly.
pull out to the side and park
Exactly.
that. So we need that much of a crowd.
Exactly. So it's always a balance between, I call it hardware. Hardware is your cycling infrastructure, your cycle track, your cycle stands. That's the hardware of. Software is what you and me do, Sakzil, where you're building up a culture. A cycling
To
culture.
bringing
to
people
bring in
in.
more cyclists, to talk about this podcast itself, what you're doing right now is a software. Because you're building up the culture. So software and hardware have to go in hand for any city. So Cycle Chala City Bacha is part of the software.
So you are pretty happy, super happy about the Cycle Chala City Bacha's progress.
Absolutely, I guess we
So
my-
2030, I think that you do not need to go up to 2030 to reach to that goal. I mean, it's going very fast because now the progress is
Yes, exponential.
very quick.
It's
Yeah.
exponential.
Very
the
quick.
growth,
And
yeah.
then, see, of course, Netherlands for that matter, Amsterdam for that matter, or even Belgium for that matter, all have like an organized cycling culture with the behavior of the
Absolutely.
citizens.
Absolutely.
People who go from Asia to work there also choose to ride a bicycle because it's cheap to
Absolutely.
use a bicycle there and then going on a even cheaper than a public transport system
Absolutely.
there. So now about India being the most populous, second most populous.
When you talk
Yeah.
about Amsterdam
Yeah,
also, Sakshi,
yeah.
one thing you need to understand is the local authorities, the governance is also very interested into all of this space. So that's where the budgets should be there, right?
Yeah.
Like Mumbai, I'll talk about Mumbai mode share. Our mode share is 51% walk and cycle, 51% commuters.
Hmm.
Only 2 or 3% people go in a car. and 25% in the local crowded train. That's the kind of mode share we are talking about. So where has the investment should go? The investment should go in that 51%. Pay. Similarly, Kochi also has their own individual mode shares. So when you work towards it, Kochi Biker Club and all of the good work which you all are doing, your focus should be on that mode share where people are actually walking and cycling.
That is where we are getting into, because if you look at the population of cities, European countries or cities, and Mumbai for that matter, you can have the entire 3 or 4 countries of Europe fit into Mumbai's population. And then that is where the focus is.
Yeah.
So we have that population, and we also have the population of cars on the road, whichever we say. And then cities having the issues of space on the road we speak about. So there are lots of civic issues.
So what we do, all of us, is we share the road currently.
Yeah.
Now we have the two-wheelers and motorists. The concerns of road safety also has become, pretty critical at this point of time, because more number of cyclists, and there are in my city there are few deaths which have happened because of the two-wheelers and the motorists not being mindful about the fact that there are cyclists exist on the road, and you do respect them.
Yes.
So having said that, yes, Chala City Bacha looks into all of that. We are also demanding a budget, a non-motorized budget with the local authorities, that this budget should be utilized for pedestrians and cycling infrastructure.
Okay, very, very beautiful way of looking at it. Now your progress by doing Mulundki Cycle Wali to this MeCycle program. Now we have this Amsterdam-based agency, an NGO called BYCS, which you all call it as bikes, are entrusting the responsibility of bringing cycling into commoners by giving you a title of the bicycle mayors.
Absolutely.
And you are a celebrated bicycle mayor of the whole country. We have very efficient mayors throughout the country. So can you give a small introduction on what a bicycle mayor is to the whole listeners and our viewers?
So I didn't know about this program unless I went to Amsterdam in 2017 as a speaker from India, and that's where I got to know something like bicycle mayor program existed. And they approached me that you have done all of this work. I mean, I've just started off the Cycle2Work and just about conversations. I said, this is my very little contribution which I have just about started. How can I justify to become the bicycle mayor of my city? So 2017, I said, you know what? I really didn't understand much about the program. So I said, no, I'm not interested. 2018, again, there was a conference in Brazil. I attended that Brazil conference and everything, and it's a beautiful city out there. Again, I met a bikes team out there, and they said, you have to become the bicycle mayor of Mumbai, because this is all the formalities are there. And of course, they have a beautiful website, bycs.org. Anybody who's interested to become a bicycle mayor,
it's bycs.org.
Yes. I put in my application to become the bicycle mayor. And wonderfully, when I saw that there are 100 bicycle mayors globally, I'm part of that leadership program. In India, there itself about 40-45 bicycle mayors currently.
Yes.
So you're not alone. Again, you're not a lone flag bearer. You have your set of bicycle mayors locally and abroad to put in things together. Like today, I feel we should have a cycle bus in Mumbai. But cycle bus is not a new concept. There is already a bicycle mayor in Ireland who is already doing bicycle bus.
What is a bicycle bus?
Bicycle bus is where a school decides that the kid on at least once a week or once a month, you get all the children on a bicycle. But with the local, your parents, parent-teacher association, a PTA, and the kids, the elder kids of 8, 9, 10 standard, form together a team to get all the kids from various spots which they have already demarcated to the school. To
bring them as a bicycle ride to the school.
That's called a bicycle bus.
It's a very nice program.
It's a very interesting program.
It will be a fun day for them if it happens.
Absolutely. You should see the fun. When I see the videos and everything, I said it will be so nice to get the kids.
So that is about your introduction to bicycle mayor.
So program. The network really helps you because everybody is contributing towards the city, towards promoting cycling, and it's a mission. There's a mission to it. It's 50 by 30. Which means 50% of the commute trips should be converted into cycling by 2030.
So that is the mission 50-30.
50 by 30.
That means 50% of any commute in a city should be on a bicycle by 2030.
Yeah.
So that
All
is
the bicycle
so
mayors-
all the basic bicycle mayors of the world has this, and now we also have bicycle mayors in Trivandrum,
Yes.
Thiruvananthapuram, and Calicut. So they are all efficient. They are all connected with you, and
Absolutely.
you are all connected,
Absolutely.
interconnected.
Absolutely.
Well, you give us an introduction to your project in Cochin along with the Cochin Municipal Corporation.
Okay. So this entire project is the Cycle with Kochi program. In fact, they reached out to us in Mumbai that we, all the good work which you all are doing in the space of grassroots level work or capacity building, okay, which is required at this point of time for this city. They approached us, and they means the German organization. They approached us, and we want to do a similar program for Kochi. The idea is that you can start a program without a name, but it's very important to have a very powerful name so that all the cyclists who are scattered across Kochi come together under that initiative. So Cycle with Kochi is that particular initiative.
So the whole program's name is Cycle with Kochi.
Cycle with Kochi.
So how are you structurizing it, and what is the progress? What are you expecting out of it?
So Cycle with Kochi, we started off with the same team which we have in Mumbai. So if you see all the social media, I mean there's social media Cycle with Kochi on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. All of that has been, the same team of Mumbai is actually taking care of all of that activity currently. So currently we are working on the Bicycle Champions program.
Bicycle Champions. Okay.
I'll just give you a little small thought process how this Bicycle Champions will work and how you need to apply for that. Of course, we've already done with the application, and we've got close to 48 applicants for Kochi city. Okay. Kochi city is made out of 74 wards.
74 wards in Cochin city. Yes.
So having 74 bicycle champions was an uphill task. We made it very simple. We said instead of 74, Kochi has 21 circles. Each circle has 4 or 5 wards within it. Some of them have 6 or 7 wards within that circle. I said make it very simple. The champions will take care of one circle.
Okay.
In that circle, you have 7 or 8 wards. Take care of the 7 or 8 wards. If the champion is having difficulty, they in turn can make marshals within those wards.
So the champions will have marshals below
them,
or along with them.
Along with them to work.
Okay, so that is like a easily spread but very easily manageable system.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's
so you
what
have 21 champions, and for 21 champions you have 74 marshals. Helping and working towards the city. Now the idea to do is that grassroots work has to be very sound. This is the foundation for the city. It is a game changer plan for the city. If the foundation is strong, then you are able to build up.
So how is it going for you?
So right now, we are interviewing all the champions, and today morning we had a meeting with them. So I think pretty good. I'm very happy the things have worked out. The second engagement is Know Your Ward Challenge.
Know Your Ward, yes.
Know Your Street Challenge.
Know Your Street,
Know
yes.
Your Street Challenge for Kochi city. Very important is that it's a crowdsourced data. Crowdsourced data always work because it is a participatory in nature. That means you are, as a cyclist, is giving 2 information. One is about the route where you are cycling from point A to point B. So you feel this is a cyclable route.
Okay.
Second information you are giving to the authorities is the where I need the cycle stand.
Okay, so actually a local information is now gathered to say that this is a route which is cyclable and safe probably, and then they would also request that this is where we feel we need a cycle stand.
Exactly.
So that way the information gathers in. And how cooperative is Cochin Corporation on it?
Oh, they are very much I think much better than my Mumbai corporation.
So we have to be very happy that Cochin Corporation is one.
I'm happy. Sometimes I feel why was I not born in Kochi?
But see, you can stay Cochin. We always accept everybody to come and stay here.
Yes, Akhil, you keep a small room for me in your house.
Everyone is welcome in Cochin from 2000 years onward.
Yes,
Yes. So Cochin Corporation is doing a commendable job here, and we also have Prakash from Trivandrum to come here to work. Like he been here for what, a month or more, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So we are expecting big changes in Kochi. So anybody who's listening, everybody who's listening to this program should watch the progress of Cycle with Kochi program, and then always give a like to their postings and also comment. And you also, as a supporter of cycling and to make Cochin more greener, more cycle-friendly city, safer city, we should bring more cyclists. We have beautiful streets, we have beautiful locations to go. We might not have wider streets, but whatever we have in the city is good enough for a cycle also to go.
Most important, no pollution. Unlike Mumbai. I am telling you.
So that is a comment for Cochin, that of course we have lesser population, and then we have pollution here, but then we can reduce pollution considerably, and our city is not that big and wide. A commuting city, what is an ideal office going commute distance comfortably for a person?
So whenever we do corporate engagement in Mumbai, so this is the first question they ask, what is the comfortable? So anything between 7 to 8 kilometers is comfortable doing a bicycle ride for commuting. Because you don't sweat much in 7 to 8 kilometers.
Yeah, you know that Mumbai and we have in common is the weather.
Humidity problem. But anything above 15 kilometers, I think then it requires a shower facility in their office, because then you sweat a lot, and then corporate say, okay, fine, my office person is coming on a bicycle, then he's sweating, then you require a shower facility.
Yeah, you cannot actually walk into a boardroom with your sweaty clothes. So in a community, in a city where cycling is recommended and then it's permitted for a commute to work, there are a few things we can do. It's not expensive, like permitting your office space, permitting your parking space in your office, by allowing at least 1 or 2 car spaces for a bicycle parking, and a locker system where they can keep their helmets and their reflective jackets in there so that they can keep it safe, and a locker room with a shower facility, which you can see the production capacity of the workers more.
And if they can also introduce a small incentives for people who cycle to work, I think you are contributing equally to the environment, to lesser amount of carbon emission and everything. Every corporate has a CSR.
Yes.
A corporate social responsibility. Why not start it from their employees?
With their employees. We need to know that a few years back, our shopping malls in Cochin were willing to allow space. You know that every parking space in a shopping mall is valuable by renting it out. So they have even allowed parking space for bicycles, which has started. So I think that it will still continue, and then influences.
You all are very blessed in Kochi. You all have public bike sharing, which is My Bike.
Oh yeah, we have to. So that My Bike system has come very
comfortable. So public bike sharing will be good, because for the first mile and last mile, at least you have that application and you can use
very
it.
Cheap, but very beautiful
cheap
system.
And very beautiful system.
So it's very nice that Firoza, we could get some valuable time of yours. We will talk more about cycling in your next visits, because things are changing. And introducing Firoza to you is like introducing the changes of cyclist behavior in Cochin. We have lots of bicycle champions, we have lots of bicycle marshals coming and meeting you. You would see cyclists all around in the city. So here, by introducing Firoza to you, it's also introducing a habit of cycling in our country, and her efforts in Mumbai was commendable, and I think that her efforts in Cochin will bear fruits, and then we will have a beautiful city. It's all about cycling, presented to you by Cochin Bikers Club. Our endeavor is to introduce you to interesting personalities. Today we have Firoza, or Cycling Firoza. Thank you very much for joining us. It's been a nice conversation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
See you soon.
Absolutely.
Thank you.